Bigger trouble for Simon Ekpa as Finnish government takes more decisive action to prevent him from doing this. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in and listening to this headline that we got in early this morning. As our headline for this morning says, "Bigger trouble for Simon Ekpa as the Finnish government takes more decisive action to prevent him from doing this." Well, the Central Criminal Police have taken a decisive step in their ongoing investigation into the financial network that supports terrorism by freezing the assets of Simon Ekpa and four alleged accomplices. This action, carried out through asset freezing order issued on November 22 and November 25, 2024, signifies a crucial moment in effort to combat terrorism financing. In order to impose strict restriction on the movement or altercation or transfer of the identified assets, thereby preserving their value, ownership, and intended use, law enforcement officials assess that this measure is essential for disrupting the operations of individuals and groups engaged in terrorist activities. The individuals affected by this decision include Ekpa, who has been charged with offense related to terrorist intention, and four others: Henry Udochukwu, Chukwuemeka, accused of financing terrorism, Clement and Anyagbedu, alleged to have supported terrorist activities, Michael Emeka Okolo, charged with sponsoring terrorist action, and Paul Odinde, identified as another sponsor. Well, the asset freeze is part of a larger strategy aimed at saving the financial resources that sustain terrorism. Officials from the Central Criminal Police have stressed the importance of cutting off financial flows of individuals and organizations involved in terrorist activities, emphasizing that disrupting these financial lifelines is vital for national security. A spokesperson for the police remarked, "This action is not just about targeting individuals but dismantling the border network that enables to sustain terrorism." Well, Ekpa, who is a controversial figure known for his vocal advocacy for the separative Biafran nation movement, faces scrutiny for his alleged role in inciting violence in southeastern Nigeria. The freezing of his assets is viewed as a measure to curb his influence and disrupt financial network believed to support separative activities. While the authorities have not disclosed the total value of frozen assets, they remain committed to tracing and dismantling financial network linked to criminal activities. This initiative also reflects a broader trend of international cooperation in combating terrorism financing, as countries around the world increasingly recognize the need to track and freeze assets associated with terrorism, acknowledging the global nature of this threat. And that is all we have for you guys concerning this headline today this morning, which says here, for Samuel Ekpa as Finnish government takes more decisive action to prevent him from doing this. Well, we have it that Finland is more focused on stopping Simon Ekpa from every which way possible. Like, seriously, they've blocked all his assets to finance. Yes, all his money, all his assets, everything he owns, they've locked everything because they want to know where the money was coming from, what the money was intended to do, like what the money was meant for, and where the money was coming from, and where the money was actually going to. Well, the Central Criminal Police has taken a decisive step in their ongoing investigation into the financial network that supports terrorism by freezing all the assets of Simon Ekpa, who is the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, and other four people who are his accomplices. And this action was carried out on November 22 and November 25. And the Finnish court is telling us that this will help us know, first of all, if Simon Ekpa was actually financing terrorism, and it will help us know where this money was actually supposed to go and where this money was actually coming from. Well, according to the Finnish authorities, it said that they impose a strict restriction on the movement, altercation, or transfer of the identified asset, thereby preserving their value, ownership, and the intended use. Like I said, thereby by freezing it, they will know the owner of the cash and the intended use of the money. And law enforcement officials say that the measure is essential. The measures is essential for disrupting the operations of individuals and groups engaged in terrorist activities. Well, Finland is a very good country, a happy one for the matter of fact, and they can't afford terrorist activities in their own country. Yes, they are very much focused on peace and stability in their country. I had the news that Simon Ekpa was actually funding terrorist activities in a country like Nigeria. They had to step up, investigate, do more investigation, and when he was found guilty, they had to seize all his assets to make sure that all this will be used against Simon Ekpa in the court that is scheduled for May 2025. Well, at this point in time, Nothing like terrorism financing for Simon Ekpa. Yeah, because where is the money going to come from? True. But the Nigerian government, looking at this new development that the Finland government brings to them, they're very, very happy, saying, thank God, at least all his asset has been seized. And he will be asked a lot of questions, and he will be forced. Although, yes, Simon Ekpa has denied everything that the Nigerian or the Finnish government is bringing to him. And only God knows if Simon Ekpa would actually win the case in May 2025. Because believe me, the Nigerian government are doing their best in bringing lots and lots and lots of evidence against Simon Ekpa that they're going to use against him in the future. The Nigerian government is bringing evidence back to back and back to back and back to back. And Simon Ekpa, the way they're bringing it, the way he's still denying it and denying it and denying it. So only God knows what will actually happen in the court case in May 2025. Well, concerning the matter of Biafra, even the Southeast up to now is not even still at peace since Simon Ekpa has been arrested. Yes, the Nigerian government thought that as per se Simon Ekpa is already arrested now, the Southeast will rest. But no, it hasn't. It hasn't. Insecurity is still skyrocketing like never before in the southern eastern part of the country. Well, southeastern politicians have said one thing: the release of Inamikano is the only solution for the insecurity problem in the southeast, because Simon Ekpa, who's a controversial figure, known for his advocacy and all his separative bravia and blah 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 blah, has caused a lot of problem in Nigerian southeast and is now facing scrutiny for his alleged role in inciting violence and this in the southern eastern region of Nigeria. And the freezing of all his money and the freezing of all his assets is viewed as a measure to stop his influence and to disrupt financial network believed to support separative activities, why the authorities have not disclosed the total value of frozen assets. It's true, because it's true. Nigerians want to know how much did Finland freeze from Simon Ekpa. Well, they've not disclosed it. But one thing is for sure, more news will still come out concerning this in the near future. So the least you can do is to tap that subscribe button with the notification bell so that anytime I have a new video, you'll be the first to get notified about it. Once again, thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day ahead of you.